Hello gamers! I'm still going through and editing the final episode of Can X Become Champion Season 3, but I kinda scope creeped myself by coming up with a bunch of other really large projects along the way, so it's taking me a bit longer than expected to get anything done. Anyways, while I go figure out how to time management like a proper adult, I figured I'd add another 40 plus minute video project to my production queue, and share a bit of a behind the scenes, specifically about the people who made this season possible, by voicing the characters throughout the story. When I first started out doing these videos, I would only reach out to other YouTuber friends, but as the series grew, I kinda ran out of friends to ask. Thankfully, MariSky came in clutch and helped connect me with a whole bunch of voice actors she already knew, and I decided to interview them for this video so that you can get to know them a bit better. So let's begin with something simple. Can I get a short intro of who you are and what you do?
Hi, my name is MariSkyVA, also known as Mari. I am a voice actor, cosplayer, and a broke nursing student right now. I've been doing voice acting for almost 10 years, and I've been helping Vasco out with his videos for about 2. And it's been a blast being here, and thank you for having me.
Hey everybody, my name is Flarkelson. I use they them pronouns. I am a hobby voice actor who voiced Grusha in Season 2 of Can X Become Champion. And I also voiced Proton in Can Lance Become Champion in Season 3 for a few lines. Outside of voice acting, I love to play video games. I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy, Persona, Fire Emblem, and of course Pokemon. I also love the needle felt. That's one of my big calming pastimes.
Heyo, I'm the Red Inkling, and I'm the voice of Terapagos, Mewtwo, and Blaine. Online, I'm a voice actor, content creator, and unlicensed internet funny man. And offline, I'm a college student wrapping up my last term and will soon be entering the full-time job market. In fact, by the time you're hearing this, I've probably already graduated.
Hey there, my name is Sean Dickey, or Sean MD, and I primarily play Larry, Kofu, and a handful of other characters for Vasco's Could Become Champion series. And what I do other than voice acting is digital art and or traditional art, writing, occasionally mixing, gaming here and there, occasionally reading. Yeah, pretty much it.
Hi, I'm Lala Melody. I am a voice actor, writer, singer, performer, creator. I do a bit of everything, I'm gonna be honest. But primarily, I'm a voice actor and singer, and I voiced Sabrina in the Pokemon Champion series for Season 3.
I'm SilverSoul. I was the voice for Lance in Vasco's video, and I just work 2 jobs, and I also do voice acting as a hobby.
Hi, my name is Greedy J. I am 31 years old, and, well, outside of voice acting, I do content creation, which still involves my voice acting, but hey, content creation is different from voice acting. But also, too, I work out, I casually play games with friends, and also, too, I am a data center technician, so I work on a lot of data servers and whatnot. So you could say that I'm a bit of a tech nerd.
Hello, hi! I'm Morgana Goldrose, the voice of Green. Other than voice acting, I strive to become a VTuber and or singer one day. For now, I simply have art skills and a dream.
What got you into voice acting?
I've kind of always been fascinated with voice acting. I remember growing up being so enamored by the fact that, voice actors would voice multiple characters in different shows or even in the same show. And I was always like, that is really cool, and I really want to do that. And so I kind of just got into acting. And I was always a performer. I grew up around music and theater and things like that. And so I kind of just got into acting as a whole because it was such a fascinating thing to me. But voice acting especially was always something I was really fascinated by. And then with chronic illness issues I've had in my real life, it's been the most accessible medium for me to be able to perform and act. And so it's kind of just been a perfect storm of everything that led me here. And so I started auditioning for fan projects here and there, and now here we are.
I've been a performer since, the first grade. I've been involved in several school performing arts programs and shows, and I've loved being a performer for nearly all of my life. I was offered by an online friend making a horror visual novel to try voicing one of the characters, the main one, in fact, as I had done voice reenactments and joke posts with that friend group before. I did the lines that she sent me. She really liked what she heard, and I really liked doing it. And then I just spent the entire rest of that evening on Casting Call Club. Now I've got a dedicated setup and a closet that I assembled. I'm involved in a handful of really cool projects, and I've met some amazing people and made some incredible things over the last year and a half.
So, kind of long story short, I got into voice acting back in 2016 because my high school's fine arts department was very competitive in terms of like their spring musicals and stuff, so I always got cut every single year. And I wanted to do something with my acting skills because I had been a theater kid my whole life. So I then turned to voice acting. I found a site called Casting Call Club, and I started auditioning, got a few bit parts, and now I'm here almost 10 years later, so it's been a fun ride.
So what honestly got me into voice acting would have to be me doing streaming. I did streaming like full time at one point when I was struggling to find a job. The minute I found a job, I seen that I didn't have much time left for streaming and everything, but I still wanted to do something with my voice and whatnot because, you know, I like talking. So I started doing fun little edits with animes and whatnot. And after that, I started doing comic dubs because I saw people's artwork that had really, really great like sequences and things. And I was like, man, what if I just add my voice to this? It would add to it. And a lot of people liked it. And so I kept doing it. And so far, it has gotten me a video game role. It's gotten me a narrator role. It's gotten me a audio drama role. It's been amazing. So yeah, that's how I got into voice acting.
Well, I originally was going to become an animator. This was like back in 2015, I believe. But the more and more time and energy that I spent on it, I realized that even a relatively short project was going to take months and months of work in advance. So even all the time and preparation that takes to get into animation, and even with the stuff that I had posted, wasn't gaining much traction. So didn't really seem worth it to continue down that path, especially when the return wasn't paying off, essentially. But one of the projects that I did work on, when I did hire voice actors for said project, I realized that they were essentially doing it from home. And I was like, really? You didn't record all of this in like a private studio? You didn't have to go and rent out something for like 2 hours and then, you know, record this stuff? No, they all did it from home. And I was like, huh, this seems interesting. And considering a lot of indie-based projects like, say, 4-Star or a lot of abridgers or a lot of small content creators ended up using that as well for like Newgrounds or YouTube. And I realized, maybe I can do this. So just as a test, I got a really cheap mic. I got like a little pop filter, got a little like reflector shield. And then I started recording and it just sort of clicked like that. And so now, 10 years later, I'm still doing it.
What got me into voice acting was people always noted how I speak with a lot of diction and I have a very unique voice, and I've always wanted to take part in acting because it's a good hobby to have. To pretend to be someone else is very enjoyable.
One fateful day, a friend introduced me to Casting Call Club, and I joined a voice acting server. And, well, the rest is history. I never expected to enjoy it this much. I met some of my best friends, including my girlfriend, through the voice acting space, and I don't regret doing it for a second.
I decided I wanted to get into voice acting around COVID lockdown when I spent a lot of time watching anime and playing video games. In particular, the two video games that inspired me were Persona 5 and Fire Emblem Three Houses, because it was the first time where the voice acting in a game really stood out to me. And I was a theater kid growing up, so I've always loved to act. And it was like a moment where voice acting as an outlet for acting kind of became realized for me, and I decided to pursue it, and I pursued it super casually back then. I'd say 2022 or 2023 is when I started to take it a little bit more seriously.
What are some of your goals with voice acting?
The main purpose of me doing voice acting is to actually make this into a career. My data center technician job is just a way for me to get steady income right now, because obviously voice acting, when you're starting out, it's not very much of a lucrative type of thing. But I am always, every day, working on something, auditioning for something, studying up on something. I mean, heck, I'm always getting messaged by people to be in projects and stuff, even if it's non-paid. It's one of those few things where I'm just like, hey, this is definitely going to get my name out there and get me closer to my goal of making voice acting an actual career.
My hope is to eventually go pro with voice acting. I'd really love to be able to make it my full-time job, to be able to continue to voice characters, to kind of become part of that next generation of voice actors. But for right now, it's, I love it regardless. I'll probably keep doing it whether or not I'm making money off of it. And that's just kind of the thought process I have with it, is if I'm enjoying what I'm doing, it doesn't really matter if I'm making money off of it, although making money is very nice. My hope is to eventually go pro, but for right now, I just kind of go where life takes me. And sometimes fate leads you in weird directions.
I would definitely say trying to go pro. That's definitely the main goal.
Going full-time with voice acting would be an actual dream come true. I've had friends tell me that I'm in my element and at my best when performing, and I couldn't agree more. It's not easy. It's the whole graduating from college with a degree and searching for a full-time job thing. So the best case scenario and the most hopeful plan going forward is to have an actual job while building up a voiceover career. And then once the emotional and financial payout of going full-time with VO would outperform the balancing of doing the full-time job and voiceover on the side, once I can dedicate myself fully to it, if I ever reach that level, then quit the job and just do voice acting. Whether that will actually happen, only the future can determine, but that's the dream.
My goals with voice acting, it's just a hobby right now, as I don't have a lot of time to go pro, as nice as that would be, but being able to voice act for these kind of videos is an absolute treat. It's a privilege even.
Right now, I'm okay with it just being a hobby. But if I ever do go pro, though, that'd be insanely awesome!
My goals with voice acting are pretty vague. Right now, I'm fairly content with it being just a hobby. I am open to the idea of getting bigger at some point and potentially going pro and having it be more of a career. But it's not something I'm actively pushing for at the moment. Right now, with what's going on in my personal life, I am fairly content with it just being a hobby, but it is a hobby that I enjoy and am willing to expand on further in the future.
As much as I wish I could go pro, that's kind of a pipe dream for me because of the kind of career that I want to go into, which is nursing. I really treat voice acting for now as a side hobby because honestly, it's so hard to make a living off of voice acting. Only a very select few can really make a living off of voice acting. So I feel like it's just a very small minority that can. So you need like a main job in order to make that money while you have a little bit of a side income from voice acting. So that's why I'm pursuing nursing, is just so I can have a very stable, constant job and have voice acting on the side.
What advice do you have for anyone going into voice acting?
The best advice I would give when it comes to getting into voice acting is, obviously you would need the equipment for it, the microphone and everything. I would just say the best way to start is to do a little bit of research and then try to find communities that you can voice act in and make yourself friends. Because my mother had a saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. It's not how talented you are, it's how you could branch out and meet other communities. Like, I got onto this gig because MariSkyVA suggested me as the role for Lance, and I would not have been able to make this role if it wasn't for the connections of suggesting me. So do research, establish connections, and continue to voice act for fun.
My advice to anyone trying to get into voice acting is to just be confident in yourself. I really think that there is a place for every voice. Don't beat yourself up if you can't imitate another voice actor perfectly, or if you feel like you have an adequate range. Range is something that you can work on and train. practice makes perfect. Just be confident in yourself and don't feel like just because something doesn't turn out the way you think it could, that you're incapable of achieving what you want to do. Like I said, I think there's a place for every voice out there. There will always be a role for you, and just don't give up.
My best advice for anyone going into just the arts in general, not just voice acting, is to let yourself be overtaken by the emotions of the moment. You know, when you're performing, if you are overthinking it every single time you're up on stage, all you're going to do is freeze. You can't be overthinking every single moment. If you screw up, just roll with it. You know, it's one of those things that it's like you have to roll with the punches the best you can. You definitely have to have thick skin and get used to criticism, but definitely don't be afraid to let yourself get enveloped with the emotions of the moment. Just lose yourself in just feeling what the character is going through, what you're trying to perform in that moment. Don't be overthinking the lines. If you screw up a line, that's what improv is for. And I really think just the best way to perform is to just understand emotion and understand empathy and kind of just let yourself go from there.
I think my main piece of advice I would give to anyone is don't be afraid of rejection. Because when I first started out, I was constantly, checking to see if the director had viewed my audition, if there were any notes about it, or I would also constantly be wondering, oh, am I going to get cast for this role? Am I going to get rejected? And then I never hear anything back, and then I get really anxious because it's like, oh, what are they doing in the background? So honestly, just letting it go after you audition, just forget about it. I know that's really hard, but just forgetting about it, I think is probably one of my best advice that I can give is just audition, forget. And if you get it, great surprise. If you don't, oh well, you move on. That's the big thing, moving on from rejections.
It's cheesy, it's stupid, but never give up. You don't need training to get into this as a hobby or even career. Audition for a million things that may or may not interest you. You can, and will, land at least one of them. It may not be a role you like or want, but that practice can go a million miles to something big.
I would definitely recommend doing some workshops, getting as much guidance as humanly possible, because there's only so many things that you can learn from trial and error alone. And what would normally have taken me in the beginning of my voice acting journey, like 3 years, with, say, a workshop from an already established voice actor in the industry, I went from learning what I could do on my own or 3 years into 3 months. So believe me when I say, if you end up getting help from outside yourself, you are going to cut your time doing this, like, not just in half, like 90% of what you'll do for voice acting. It may cost a little bit here and there in terms of money, but trust me when I say, if you're serious about this, it's worth the price.
My number one advice for anyone getting into voice acting would be just do it. Just start. If you already have everything, actually, I can tell you this personally. If you just have a microphone and a PC, laptop, or anything like that, you're already halfway there. You are halfway there than most people. Just start doing it. Start auditioning. Start voicing over stuff. Make your own stuff. Talk about things. There are various ways of getting into voice acting. People think that you have to be like the next Alex Lay or be the next Zeno Robinson or be the next Johnny Young Bosch. You don't have to. Be you and get started and just do it.
Funny you should ask that. I have a list of advice for people wanting to get into voice acting because that's the same question I ask every real voice actor I meet. If I had to just give one, it'd be that if you want to put yourself out there and get into this space, just go for it. Get a good mic, get a good interface, and just start doing auditions. It helps if you have previous acting experience, like if you did performing arts in school or something. But the best way to get better is to just practice. Make accounts on talent sites like Upwork, Fiverr, Casting Call Club, anything like that. Share your work with friends, maybe even family, and network like hell. The reason I'm even here with Vasco is because another friend of mine that I met through this craft referred me to him. To quote Joe Zija quoting the movie Spaceballs, don't get ready, get set, and go. Just go, go, go.
What's been your favorite character to voice? Doesn't have to be for this series.
Oh, man. Honestly, some of the favorite characters I love to voice. I'm a big Sonic nerd, and as soon as I got back into the Sonic community after all these years, I've really, really enjoyed voicing Knuckles the Echidna and Storm the Albatross, and one of my other favorites, Big the Cat, because Froggy, you know? So I got those characters. And then outside of like Sonic stuff, I think one of my favorite characters that I voiced was actually Raditz from Dragon Ball Z, because, well, his voice actor also voices Eustace Kid in One Piece. So I definitely can get that voice down like this. You pathetic worms, die!
Green was super fun to do, so she's pretty up there. In general, I think Nanako Dojima from Persona 4 is my favorite. British Bridget from Guilty Gear Strive was also fun to do, since I could experiment with accents. Oh, yeah, that's a mod I made for the games. So.
Grusha has definitely been my favorite character to voice so far. I had a lot of fun recording the lines. Grusha was my favorite gym leader in Scarlet and Violet, and I just enjoyed the Can X Become Champion series as a whole, all 3 seasons. And season 2, I felt like in particular, had a really compelling storyline, and I was very happy to be a part of it. I had fun every single time I got to voice Grusha, so huge thank you to Vasco for allowing me to do that.
I think, honestly, my favorite character that I've voiced so far is definitely Erika from Vasco's series. I love voicing very quiet characters because it's so opposite of what my personality is. Like, I'm usually very bombastic, and having to voice someone who sounds like this and sounds very quiet and she's very sleepy is definitely like a big opposite. And it's so fun. That's like one of the joys of voice acting, is being able to be these characters that you're not, you know? It's so much fun. So I would definitely say Erika has definitely been one of my favorite roles.
I guess my favorite character to voice in my voice acting career has been Kane and Rost. They're 2 characters in League of Legends, because it's fun to pretend that you're 2 psychopaths and murderous psychopaths arguing with each other. And there's something very entertaining about pretending that you're crazy and a little evil. It's fun to be evil.
For this project, my favorite was definitely Blaine. While it's definitely a departure from my regular speaking, it fits the guy really well, and it's genuinely just super fun to do his wacky voice. It's probably about as far as you can get from the dark, brooding, intimidating voices that the other characters I do have, which is really funny, and only makes voicing the guy even more fun.
I've gotten the opportunity to voice a lot of really fun characters just in the past, couple of years. And Sabrina is definitely really high on that list, if not just because I love her personality. I love that she's kind of weird, she's kind of quirky, and she's maybe not always there, but you can tell that there's like something more always going on with her. But I also really do love voicing Marie in Mayanaka Dubs' Persona 4 Golden animation fan dub. That was really one of the first big roles I've gotten to take on, and it's always going to have a really, really special place in my heart for that reason. But I love any character that is just it allows me to kind of lean on how weird I am as a person, and so I kind of end up playing weirdos quite a bit.
That is a good question. I would say primarily it's fan dubbing characters like, say, Riku from Kingdom Hearts, or Jason Todd, or Trunks from Dragon Ball Z. Not that I'm the official voice of those characters. No, far from it. They are fun to play because, 1, I already have a connection with those characters, and 2, it's fun to see what it would be like if you did get to voice those characters.
What character from any franchise or media would you dream to voice one day?
A good question that I haven't really thought about in a really long time. I guess when I think about it, I would like to voice more characters one day. That would almost be almost a father figure or a mentor to our protagonist. That way, it's almost like receiving wisdom from someone that would be a father figure to the audience. And it's like Uncle Iroh is a good example. And yeah, I don't know. I just think that we need more of that in media, in my opinion.
So a character from a franchise or media that I would love to voice, honestly, it is Knuckles from Sonic. That is one of my dream roles I would love to have. I would love to voice him in a like solo project. Like, does not matter. I would love to be like the main voice for Knuckles in anything. I guess a second character I would love to be voicing in. It's not even just a character. It's just, I would love to voice a villain, like the main antagonist. I would love to voice that. You would think I would love to be the protag, which would be great. But main antagonist, like, listen, I get a monologue, the deep voice, the threatening, like, aura, like, bro, I would love to be a villain, like a main antagonist villain.
If I were to pick any character from any franchise or media to voice one day, it would be Loki. Doesn't have to specifically be the Marvel version of Loki, but any iteration of Loki I would love to voice. Loki is one of my favorite characters from, well, not one of, is my favorite character from mythology, and I would love to get the chance to embody Loki's voice one day.
I think if I had to voice a character from a different form of media, it would be Persona or Fire Emblem, because I love both of those game series, and I think more Fire Emblem than Persona, honestly. So anyone from Fire Emblem, because some of the cast from various games have been stacked, and I would love to be a part of a project with some pretty big names like that.
Assuming I can get big enough to reach this level of notoriety, I would do anything in the world to get involved with a Persona or Megami Tensei game, or Fire Emblem, or, hey, fittingly, a piece of Pokemon media. Those are all chock full of fun, memorable characters, all brought to life by some of my favorite voices and voice actors. So getting to have a shot at that, or even just reach that level and work with those people to bring to life something that cool, would be nothing short of amazing.
Chiaki Nanami from Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair. I'm not super into Danganronpa or anything, but Chiaki is my favorite character ever. It's the she's just like me for real mentality. If I had another option, it'd be Anya Forger from Spy Family. I like doing the little girl voice.
I would definitely love to do Riku from Kingdom Hearts, or just like any Kingdom Hearts property, like at all. And 2 would be the Red Hood from Batman. That's the one of Batman's sidekicks, the one that, got killed by the Joker. And it's the one that I can be able to empathize and sympathize with. I would say outside of those 2, I would like to do an original character. And then I can just gravitate toward that.
I think my biggest dream or my biggest goal as a voice actor, just because of how much the franchise means to me, is to be able to voice in a Persona game one day. That is the ultimate pipe dream role as a voice actor I would love to be able to pull off someday. That is the ultimate pipe dream. But honestly, just being able to voice in projects that I continue to enjoy and find so much love and passion in, that'll really just make it all worthwhile for me.
Okay, so for this next one, I kind of messed up the question as I was sending it to people, so the answers vary a little bit. But the main question was, what kind of Pokemon would you design if you were given a chance to? But I put they instead of you, so some people interpreted it as the character they'd want to voice. I just thought it was funny, so I didn't ask them to re-record.
Not exactly a Pokemon, but Game Freak! Make another athlete electric type trainer, and my life is yours! Specifically a runner, because it actually makes sense!
Dude, at this point, there are so many that if I came up with an original idea, it'd probably already exist. In fact, while thinking of ideas to into this, I initially thought, it'd be really cool if there was one involved with, music and use the power of sound. That exists. That's Meloetta. And then I thought, since I'm a voice actor, it'd be really cool if one of them used its voice, but it had, a really neat, customizable feat, the Chatot, old Chatot. So If I were to come up with an idea, it probably already exists, so my answer is no clue.
What kind of Pokemon would I design? Maybe we need more Pokemon that can be eaten, canonically. Like, I know that's a little weird, but that's just my opinion.
I don't really think there's any real limitation to what Pokemon, like the Pokemon Company, can design. If they can be able to make an ice cream cone a Pokemon, I doubt that they have any limitations in that area.
Oh man, what kind of Pokemon would I design if I was ever given a chance to? Man, listen, you're talking to someone who is a big fan of the Pokemon Hariyama. So I would personally make a second evolution or like a branching evolution chain of Makuhita. So Makuhita goes for like the really big and powerful Hariyama, right? Well, in Sumo, most people don't know this, there are actually like skinny but very powerful like sumos, and those sumos are very fast. So make a branching path of Makuhita and have that one focus more on speed and like evasion and special and things like that. Don't have them focus like on attack, have them focus on speed, make them like a very fast character and give them a move where the higher their speed is how much stronger the attack is, you know? And the kind of design I would go for is probably like a Hariyama that is like skinny, you know, that's just like skinny, but like has like a 6-pack and like muscular and whatnot. Yeah, that's what I would go for.
What kind of Pokemon would Loki design if Loki was given the chance to design a Pokemon? There are already a few Pokemon that I feel like remind me of Loki in some way. Some obvious ones are like Zoroark for being a shapeshifter, Hoopa for being the mischief Pokemon, also Darkrai and Meowscarada for being a tricksy magician. I think whatever Pokemon Loki designed would most likely have the Dark type, and possibly Fairy or the Fire type as well, because Loki is associated with fire in a lot of mythology. Would probably have the Prankster ability, if not the Illusion ability that Zoroark has. Would definitely be a Pokemon that is comprised of some sort of mischief and trickery.
I think it'd be really interesting to design a rock-type Pokemon line that is themed around geodes, and kind of the whole idea of like maybe the starter evolution is very unassuming, very traditional rock type kind of thing. And then once you get further down the evolution line, it kind of breaks out and you see more of the crystal theming. And by the third evolution, it's like this beautiful, like gemstone-like Pokemon. I just think that would be a really cool and interesting theme for an evolution line.
I think I would say I would love to see more. I know there's a ton already, but I would love to see some more seal-themed Pokemon because I love Spheal and I love Dugong. So definitely like some kind of a seal or maybe another evolution because we haven't had a new evolution in a long time. And I feel like there's so many other types out there that deserve an evolution and they haven't gotten one yet. So either a seal or some kind of evolution.
What was your favorite line to record for Can X Become Champion?
I think some of my favorite lines that I have recorded were for Katy, with all of the cooking puns that she does. Like, oh, crumbs, or like, maybe I put too much marshmallow fluff in that last statement. Just those little cute little cooking lines because she's a baker. It's so cute, and I had so much fun, and I remember cracking up in the booth several times, and I had to take several times to try to get the lines down without bursting out laughing. So probably any of Katy's baking or cooking puns.
I think that's something that stood out to me is when Lance was like wanting a dragon-like Pokemon, even though they're not a dragon type. I think that kind of just shows how much of an idiot Lance is, and I think we need more characters with flaws, I suppose. Someone that's even a Pokemon champion, he could even be like, that's not a dragon. Like, to my heart it is. I'm like, how endearing, you know?
I would say probably it would be Kofu. Like literally any of his lines, because I get to break out my Sean Connery-esque pirate, the purpleized WTF Luffy from None Piece, that kind of character. So literally any line that I get to record for that character.
It's a tie between wee woo wee woo, this is an emergency, and, well, she was weird talking about Sabrina. The last one mainly because that's my girlfriend I'm talking about.
I have a couple lines that I really liked getting to record for Sabrina. One of them was her just straight up not knowing what TSA is. That cracked me up so much when I was reading through the script.
What are you, the TSA?
I don't know what that is. The other ones are just all of her interactions with Blaine, how she just can't stand him. And it's even funnier, too, because Inkling and I are really good friends in real life. And so it just cracks me up to think about that. Yeah, that's just basically us bickering. That's our conversations.
Anything involving a copious amount of Blaine dolls was pretty funny. I also love doing the bit in the Sabrina episode where Blaine gets mad at her for keeping on reading his mind. Stop reading my mind, psychic! You know, that one. But I think probably my favorite would be the first line I ever recorded, just because it's become a recurring joke in the actual series, and it is a massive inside joke among my friends and the people who also worked on this. When Terapagos first appears, that "oh" sound. See, I can't even do it without laughing.
Oh.
When taken out of context, that sound is really goofy, and the fellow voice actors who worked on this loved it so much that it became a soundboard sound in our Discord. And there was even a callback to it during Mewtwo's introduction. If you listen closely enough, you can tell it's even my old mic.
Oh.
So just due to the meme status that one syllable has achieved, that's probably my favorite line that I've done.
Oh man, for this series with Vasco, I think my favorite line for the old man, for this merchant of sorts, has to be whenever he's just shocked and surprised that someone would actually buy his Magikarp.
This really is a scam.
I'll take it.
You will?
Like he just sounds so surprised that like he got this off, you know? It's funny. I think characters where they have like ill intentions and they don't think it's gonna work, but then it works, is the funniest thing ever, because it's like, haha, I got away with this. There's no way that I'm gonna get in trouble for this because you still agreed to this. So it's just funny.
My favorite line to record as Grusha. That's a tough question to answer. I don't know that I can pick one line specifically, but I did really enjoy all the times I got to banter with Turo and call him old man. I thought those were really fun moments, and I think was pretty telling of a lot of Grusha's insecurities, and the lines afterwards were always vulnerable moments that I enjoyed voicing for the sake of getting to explore Grusha's character a little bit more.
And last but not least, where can people find you if they want to see more?
People will not find me. I will find you. Just kidding. I am a somewhat inactive Twitch streamer. If you want to go to the Flarkelson on Twitch TV, you know the website. I am trying to get back into streaming there. I also have a Blue Sky and a Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at FlarkelsonVO. And you can find me on Blue Sky at flarkelson.bsky.social. I'm not the most active person on social media, but I do post updates on there whenever there are updates to be shared. So if you're interested, keep an eye out in those places.
I am on most social media under the name MariSkyVA, so my most popular platforms are TikTok, X, Instagram. I'm on pretty much just those 3 platforms, or you can find more information about me on my website, MariSkyVA.com.
I have my own website that I use for being credited in these things, and on there you can find my TikTok, YouTube, and Blue Sky. They're all under the same username as well. Don't forget the underscores. And with my time in college fully wrapping up pretty soon, I'll likely be voicing and creating a lot more. So expect some fun stuff if you check me out on other platforms.
If you want to be able to reach out or see different things I've done, there's either Twitter. If you're looking to hire me for different projects, it's our Casting Call Club. If you want to see all the previous stuff that I have done, then I have the YouTube channel.
My username is RoseGoldMona, all lowercase or whatever, on pretty much anything. YouTube, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok. I may not upload much, but I want to make sure that whenever I do, it's something good that everyone can enjoy. Specifically me.
I don't really make stuff anymore, but I do have that YouTube channel I'm not really active on anymore, but if you want to see me during my heydays of when COVID was really big, then you could check me out there. But other than that, I don't voice act as often as I ought to. Maybe I'll voice act for Vasco again, and you'll just find me here. Who's to say?
My card page is usually linked in the description of the episodes I'm in. That has all of my links and also my voice acting demo and my singing demo in it. But the places I'm most active are on Twitter and Blue Sky, as well as my YouTube channel, where I upload covers and other fun, weird stuff. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, besides all of this voice acting on here, if you guys want to check out any of my work, my comic dubs, my voiceovers and everything, I post basically almost every week on my YouTube channel, hopefully in the link below or in my website. Should have like a animated version of my face and whatnot. I look pretty handsome. But yeah, if you want to check out some more of my comic dubs and voiceovers, you can check it out there. You can also find me on Twitter. I am always open to DM, so if you have any questions, concerns, or you just want to chat it up, just hit me up on Twitter. Check me out on TikTok. I sometimes put some of my YouTube shorts on TikTok, so check me out on there. And on Instagram, where I also put my stuff at. I put my stuff everywhere. That's an advice for you guys. If you get into content creation, put your stuff everywhere. Don't just put it in one place, all right?
And that covers all of the questions for this interview. Big thanks again to everyone who helped voice these characters. I hope you enjoyed learning a bit more about them, and voice acting in general. I've recently gotten into the Atelier games, and they do this thing where they have a short snippet from the voice actors after you finish the main story, and I think it's pretty cool. So in a way, this is a little bit of a VA's after the Can X Become Champion story, except I still haven't finished the final video. So let me get back to working on Can Green Become Champion, which hopefully will be out soon, like in the next couple of months soon. And I hope it will be worth the wait for you as well, gamers. Either way, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Last time on Can X Become Champion.
Perhaps you're still worried about Giovanni.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, maybe a lot of it.
Well, don't. We've arrested the majority of Team Rocket members already, and we've got teams investigating the network of tunnels Blaine mentioned.
Right, but he's still out there, and we might have missed something else. Like, why did he steal a Master Ball?
Afraid he might use it to catch a certain talking Pokemon?
Gee, thanks. Guess I'll add that one to the list. Ow! What was that?
A Master Ball. But you broke it.
And who might you be, little girl?
Me? My name is Green. Grandpa Oak sent me to deliver a Master Ball to the new champion.
You mean the one you just used?
Whoops.
Ha ha! You don't look anything like Daisy. Since when did old Oak get another grandkid?
A few days ago, I think.
Wait, are you the girl they found near Cerulean Cave?
Yep, that's me. Have we met before, Mr. Talking Pokemon?
Nope. My name's Vasco, by the way, and I wanted to ask if you knew anything about a pink Pokemon named Mew.
Mew? Nope, doesn't ring a bell. Maybe we should go look for it together and add it to the Pokédex.
Now there's an idea.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
Indeed I am. I'll be busy writing reports on Team Rocket and restructuring the Elite Four, so I won't have much time to travel for a while.
Fine. Hey Green, can I follow you around the region to look for this missing Mew?
Sure, should be fun. But before we go, I'm still kinda curious. How did you break out of the Master Ball?
Good question, actually. I have no idea. Last time on Can X Become Champion.
And would you be so kind as to take him with you on your journeys?
You mean this little rock? Kinda reminds me of the Ilex charm I got from Clara.
It seems Gem approves of this proposal.
Yeah, but what's in it for me?
I suppose Gem could share some of his powers with you. It could work like some of the blessings you've obtained from the other mythicals.
I was just kidding about that. But great. A nice little bonus, I guess.
So, you will accept?
Yes, I accept. I'll take Gem with me.
Wonderful.
Wait, is that your power, Gem? Don't worry. I hear it's just a prototype, so maybe that's why it didn't work.
Then maybe I can try again with another one?
You don't have to do that. Besides, you can only get another one if you become champion.
Then I'll do that too. But for now, Let's go look for your missing Mew.